I'm 2 months into this nightmare, and I can't seem to numb the pain. One evening, after putting the baby to sleep, I left the house to get a drink. I just needed something, anything, to ease the ache. I sat at the bar and asked for a martini, then another, and another. By the time I got to my fourth glass, the tears started falling. The bartender walked over and asked, "Ma'am, are you okay?" I looked at him with red eyes and whispered, "Yes." But we both knew the truth. I was not okay. I probably looked ridiculous crying into my cocktail in the middle of that restaurant, so I gathered myself and drove home. But on that drive, something in me snapped. All I saw was red. I don't even remember how I got home, but by the time I snapped out of it, I was pulling into my driveway. I stormed into the house and ran upstairs. I reached for the doorknob to the guest room where he was sleeping, and it was locked. That pushed me over the edge. I banged on the door. "Open the door!" I didn't hear him move. So I raised my foot and kicked the door in, yelling, "Why did you do this to us? Why?" He just stared at me, didn't say a word. And if I'm honest, it felt like he enjoyed watching me crash out, like it gave him some kind of sick satisfaction. When he finally opened his mouth to speak, all I heard was, because honestly, there was nothing he could say to take the pain away. The next morning, I packed a bag and checked into a hotel. I was suffocating in that house and needed new air. He agreed to care for the baby while I was gone. At the hotel, I prayed, slept, and journaled. And while journaling, I made a list of all the things I felt I had done wrong as a wife. Times I felt insecure about my body and turned him down. The time I told him he should get braces because his overbite wasn't attractive to me anymore. The list kept going, and I kept writing. And then suddenly, I heard a voice say, "Stop!" It wasn't audible, but it was loud in my spirit. Then I heard 1 Corinthians 10:13. I froze. I didn't even know what that scripture said. I opened my Bible and read, "No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear." In that moment, I felt like God was saying, "Your husband's choices are not your fault. You could have been the perfect wife, done everything right, and it still wouldn't have changed what was already in him. This behavior, this betrayal, didn't begin with you. The same way you've had chances to harm him and chose not to is the same way he had chances to honor you and chose not to. He knew what he was doing, and he did it anyway. This is not on you. This is on him. This is in him." I began to weep. And for the first time in weeks, I felt the weight of blaming myself for his actions finally lift. I laid down the guilt, but on the next episode, my husband picks something up and hides it where I'd never think to look. Stay tuned.